Hey everyone, it's Field Shot, back at it with another video here today, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Ace and the future of the game and what I think are realistic expectations and the future of my basically two channels that I'm running daily at the moment. So first off, I just want to talk about in general what I've been actually participating in this game right now. For those of you that know, we recently got a patch that was supposed to have guild versus environment in it, and it was one of the game modes that honestly I was relying on. It was one of the reasons why I was giving the developers kind of a big break in my eyes in terms of lack of content, lack of updates and things like that. Granted, there's a lot of realistic situations going on there, and I completely understand that stuff. However, that does not really change the fact about the impact it has to this game. Now, many of you may think this is coming at a weird time because we just had an awesome patch recently in terms of actually content being dropped. I would say that it's probably one of the biggest content drops since the beginning of the game in the soft launch in terms of Stage 11 dungeons, and we also got the reworks, and we got the guild boss reformat, which all very, very awesome stuff. The only thing is, when I saw this update here, and I'll just pull it up on Discord here for you all. So this one right here, where is it? It's going to be in the game updates. Yeah, so this one right here, this post really made me lose a lot of, I guess you could say, passion and drive for the game. This came out about 8 hours ago or so for me. You can see here they're talking about everyone. They're thanking everyone for supporting the game. Continuing to provide the best product available. Blah blah blah. And sincerely apologize for that. And we will pay more attention to your feedback by fixing bugs. We continue to strive to make Ace the best game possible because of all the bugs and all the disruption and the lack of what the player base wants generally. Granted, I think that again this last patch was excellent. And then they're talking about that they highly value feedback and they're going to adjust the way they're going to balance future patches with new epic heroes and playable content. And then they go on to say, to solve these problems, we will first continue to adjust and update the existing in-game system to bring you a better gameplay experience. Secondly, we will keep a balance between the gaming experience and the updated intensity. Like the aforementioned, there will be new content such as RTA, Guild versus Environment, Guild versus Guild, new dungeons, and new bosses. We also plan to add more characters and all that good stuff and balancing for RTA in the future. So here's the problem I see with this. Honestly, it sounds awesome, right? And generally, I would be very happy about this. The thing is, we were supposed to have Guild versus Environment as of today. I believe it was about 4 days ago. Let's just go ahead and check the patch notes here. If we just check here, this is on the 18th. It is now officially the 23rd for me, so about the 22nd. But basically, this was actually about 5 days ago because the patch notes dropped. I guess it was 10:28 p.m., so about 4 days ago. We'll say 4 days ago. And as a content creator and as the most popular and prominent content creator for Ace, strictly in terms of monthly views, I have received absolutely zero information on anything in relation to Guild versus Environment, which is really unfortunate because I have been trying to plan my content around this big update, and I've kind of made do with the reworks and the updated skill dungeons and the guild boss and all that stuff. But in reality, like, the reworks, they're fun. It's just, it's all the same content just rehashed over and over again. I was beating it with Urzak before. I beat it with Vance now. I could beat Queen 12 and 14. I can beat it with Jonathan now. Now, obviously, these are really nice for some other players out there. But for me personally, it's just, it's always this. It's the same type of stuff. I was really excited for a Guild versus Environment. I thought it would bring a lot of popularity back to the game. This recent patch did bring a lot of popularity back to the game in terms of actually like views and the community perspective, which is all very good stuff. I just don't know if I can trust a lot of the plans for the future, especially if you have a game mode like Guild versus Environment, which in my opinion is going to be the easiest of the RTA, Guild versus Guild, and Guild versus Environment, these 3 big game modes going to be dropped. I think Guild versus Environment is the easiest of them to implement. I could be wrong about that. I'm sure someone out there, if I am wrong about it, they'll let me know in the comments down below, and I'm completely okay with that. Only problem is, let's just say it is on par with the difficulty of these, then I can assure you we will have similar difficulties when coming to Guild versus Guild and RTA. I imagine RTA is going to have a really rough launch if Guild versus Environment is 4 days old and we've received no updates in terms of it actually occurring. I don't know when. I have zero idea. If we join into the guild, we see the Guild versus Environment tab, the Ruins of the Gods, and it was supposed to be out 4 days ago. And I mean, I don't want to beat it up too much, but that's just like where I'm at. It's not here. We have no updates. Their communication is kind of fallen through, and even as a content creator, I have received absolutely nothing, which is fine. I mean, they don't really owe me anything in general, you could say. But when we're talking about the future and what I think of and my opinion of the game, it is vastly different due to this fact. So initially, my impression was I think that this game does have a great future. I think that a lot of the systems in the game are excellent, and they still are. The summoning rates, the summon acquisition, the summoning experience, some of the monetization elements, the fact that we have unlimited multi-battles, the quick promote, some of the quality of life changes, just in general, the relative strategy of this game is awesome. All of that is great. Don't get me wrong. Problem is, it's easy. Very easy. Especially for someone who plays a lot of this game. Now, for those of you that don't necessarily play a ton of the game, or you may not actually be in the game all that often, I can absolutely understand. But I mean, this is just, like, as a free-to-play player, mind you, I was a free-to-play player up until up until 4 months into the game. About a month and a half ago, I turned into someone who buys the Battle Pass, and I bought some of the packs. I didn't buy the last Battle Pass for Hector because I didn't find a real need to. But in that time, as a free-to-play player, I was beating Stage 14 Ashe. I was beating Stage 14 Queen. I was also beating Void Tower hard. I beat all the content that I really could have at the time. I could not beat Gemini 14 because I didn't have Gengello, and the Blackhorn Yolanda comp was not created by them. And then I also could not beat Witch 14 because I have never tried, but I probably could have if I tried hard enough into beating Witch 14. Total 14 doesn't even matter. I mean, honestly, all 3 of these dungeons besides Queen and Ashe don't really matter all that much. Gemini does a little bit, and Witch, I guess, does in the very minute sense that the Assassin sets could work on some characters. But it's just, this is it. Like, all the content that's coming out is just going to be rehashing of the same dungeons. It's turning into sort of like a raid-type spree where all the content I can make is simply just the standard, okay, what unit am I going to build next that isn't popular? What old dungeon do I rehash with different characters? And it's just honestly not that exciting for me personally. And on top of that, and the bigger thing is it's not rewarding. I invest, for example, the Ashe spreadsheet that I just put out about a week ago, it got about 1,000 views, and most of you won't care about this, and it's completely fine. But I put probably around 30 hours of research into that sheet, and it's just, the game just isn't as popular as it was, and it doesn't have any future in terms of gaining popularity with continuous setbacks and stalling like the Guild versus Environment. Now, Guild versus Environment could drop tomorrow when this video drops, but I cannot guarantee that. I have no information about it, so I'm going to put out the video anyways. And that being said, I have been investing a ton of time into Diablo Immortal because I can just see the actual return on investment in that game on a separate channel that I started a week and a half ago. And on top of that, the game is backed by a company that is much more stable, in my opinion. And so in general, I just feel like it'll be much bigger return on investment to invest my time into that game. On top of that, I am going to be a part of, if you do not know, the Aftershock United crew. That's going to be pushing Diablo Immortal very, very hard. I'm going to be in the Alpha Squad playing with some other favorite creators like Darth Micro, Chosen, in Raid, and a few others like Kyer, Smiley. We're all going to be in a group together pushing Diablo Immortal as a party of 8. And then, of course, you know that Trigger Happy John, for those of you that follow Ace content, swapped over to Diablo Immortal, and he's going to be creating content on his second channel for Ace. It's just because the videos don't get the views, and then the content itself isn't that fun to create because I've done everything in the game I possibly can, except for, the off random comps that I might create for videos and things like that, like Ash or Queen comps. And those are fun to make. The problem is, if I jump onto a stream, what am I going to be doing? Oh, I'm going to be farming, I'm going to be pushing Void Tower, I'm doing the same thing. It's the same gacha game stuff as any other game. But a game like Diablo Immortal is a grinding game. I'm going to be doing very similar stuff in that game, but it's going to be active. I'm going to repeat the same stuff, but it's going to be active. I have to manually control my character and all that stuff. It's a much more entertaining game for me personally. It's a much more entertaining game for people to watch generally. And on top of that, it is going to be one of the biggest drops of the year, so I find it to be a very awesome opportunity for myself. I really have no hard feelings for Ace in general. I think it's a great game. Heck, I haven't even reached max level in the game because you could say I don't farm as much as I possibly should be in the recent couple of weeks. But I just don't have much of a drive to make content for the game. I'll still play the game off on the side, and I will perhaps make videos on the second channel for this game. I'm going to be rebranding both channels. This is going to be a future Diablo Immortal channel because of, I think, the perspective and the return on investment I'm going to get. Because I put many hours into that game as well as I put into Ace. The hours that I was putting in spreadsheeting for Ace has turned into hours I've put into spreadsheeting for Diablo Immortal. And unfortunately, people are just incredibly negative about Ace in general, as well as there's obviously every game, but it doesn't feel like the community is quite as cohesive as it was once a couple of months ago with all the new games releasing between Dislight, Infinite Magic Raid, which, I don't think is a very great game, but and Diablo Immortal coming up. The community is fracturing because of these games. The developers are, in my opinion, failing to deliver on what they promised. Again, if you go ahead and check the Discord, not only was a Guild versus Environment promised at 4 days ago, but if we look in the announcements, I think it was in the game updates or in the news maybe. Let me see if I can find something here. Where was it? Yeah, maybe it was in the game updates here. But right here, a single team, that's RTA. Okay, right here. In the next 2 months, the Ace team plans to introduce a new event, Guild vs. Environment and Real-Time Arena. So we got the new event, and this was March 22nd. So that was officially 2 months ago, and we have a broken Guild vs. Environment, and Real-Time Arena is nowhere near seen. And, I honestly had a lot of faith in the developers because they did such a good job for so long. And yes, there's some realistic circumstances that could have knocked them back, but they gave us no updates, even as a content creator. And that is a really big turnoff in terms of me trying to develop a community here, because I don't feel like they're interested in communicating with us just directly. And that's unfortunately the way I think about it. We could look at the server stats for Ace. You could just see right here, this number hasn't changed for about 3 weeks. Same server stats. All the community in general has just been generally declining to stagnating for a game that's 5 months old. Well, if you count soft launch. If you don't count soft launch, it's about 4 months and a week. If you count soft launch, it's going to be about 6 months and a week. And so that is a very worrying perspective. No real market pushes, or I guess marketing pushes, have been made. And this is going to be a long video and a little bit of a rant, and I guess that's okay with me. But unfortunately, it's not quite the grand project I was hoping for. in terms of how much effort I actually put into this game. So that being said, I am going to continue my effort into the other game, the Diablo Immortal game, and I will be working closely with creators, as many of you know, and as many of you have seen swapped over from Ace to Diablo Immortal. I have been working behind the scenes as one of the, I guess you could say, head managers for the main squad over there, managing a lot of the team placement, things like that, because I've been really enjoying doing the work for that game. So if you're interested, I don't want you to think that you owe me anything or want to, you know, this isn't really an advertisement necessarily, but I will be creating some Ace content every once in a while. At the current moment, this could change depending on how much work I have to put in, but I think I'll be dropping a video in the next couple of days on a second channel for Ace. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, I'll put all my Ace content in the future on that channel, and this will be, for the future purposes, a Diablo Immortal channel. For those of you that are interested in the guild and account takeovers and all that stuff, I will be stopping account takeovers for the moment. I will be managing the guild still off the side as just playing the game, but I won't be necessarily like actively going out and creating content for Guild versus Environment or anything like that at the moment. That all being said, I will have a Diablo Immortal video coming out probably right after this one on the main channel. So if you're interested and you are going to be swapping to Diablo Immortal, or maybe you just were playing Ace as well as Diablo Immortal, or if you just want to stick around for the community that kind of has swapped over to Diablo Immortal, you can stick around and stay subscribed to the channel. If not, I really appreciate everyone that has come and checked out the videos, as well as everyone who has attended the streams and just in general the community. I'm very grateful. I had a great time here I'm still not leaving. I'll still be around, but I just won't be creating daily Ace content on the main channel for this game, which is a very unfortunate statement. So that being said, I don't want to make this video any longer. I just wanted to say that that's the update for the channel. I'm sorry for any of you that had asked me a week ago and I said I had no plans to stop Ace content. This post kind of, and the abrupt stop of Guild versus Environment has changed my opinion since, and this is the result. So that all being said, let me know what you all think about Ace and where you're at in the comments down below. Again, really appreciate you all, and I'll be answering all the comments in the description or in the comment section down below, as I always do. That being said, thank you for watching, and this will be the final sign off for the main channel on Ace.